Is your information highway more like highway robbery? This is O24IT. I'm Josh Newman, and I remember when getting online meant having to endure this sound. That has to violate some Geneva Convention or sonic weapons statute. If you're expecting me to recommend any of the big ISPs, hey, Josh, which of these huge corporations are trustworthy? The mosquito or the tick? The leech or the vampire bat? So many parasites, so few hosts. All the big providers are generally trying to convince you to upgrade to a pipeline with the throughput of the Autobahn, but it's like taking a tricycle onto a Formula One track. Video content is expected to account for 82% of all internet traffic by the end of the year. Do you think that your family is different? So here's the question for you. Would you want to watch your movies faster? Or do you think that the annoying client that you have is going to get to the point quicker? How do you know how to right-size your internet? Do you really need 10 times the bandwidth they're pushing? Here's how to calculate your real requirements. Step 1, what I think of as the Netflix test. Determine how much bandwidth you choose from your ISP's offering based on the quality of streaming you want. 3 megabits per second is enough for HD video, 5 megabits per second for FHD, which is somewhat higher quality, and 15 megabits per second for UHD, ultra high def. Step 2 is guesstimate how many simultaneous users you've got. How many devices will be accessing the internet at the same time? That includes web browsing, streaming platforms, and sometimes your cable box. The most important of those are the ones that are going to be streaming videos, though. Dedicating 5 megabits per simultaneous end user is a good rule of thumb, and 15 megabits per second per device if you really need to see Benedict Cumberbatch's every last pour. The takeaway, though, is don't confuse speed with reliability. But you might be wondering, if your basic internet plan is sufficient, then what is the cause of all your internet woes? Let me tell you about my experience. The base internet from Verizon in my building is 50 megabits per second, which I have calculated is more than enough to meet my requirements. And yet, videos sometimes pause in my home. If that happens to you, your line is dropping, just like mine was, and buying more speed won't help. Before you call your provider, check all the connections and that nothing is blocking your antenna Wi-Fi signal. Proper replacement of your router, that's the one with the little stick things sticking off of it, means locating the router centrally in your home. Rebooting your hardware from your location or through the network online, that will entail a phone support call with your provider, or if all else fails, a new modem might be necessary. Again, a call to your provider. This brings me back to a theme that I repeat often, not only in this context, but in many others. And that is, if you find yourself having to choose between reliability and speed, choose reliability. This means continuity. Have they built a well-established and maintained network? Do they have a good track record? Low latency. Latency is the time lag between a data request and response. So the fastest line in the world will still make horrible Zoom calls if you have high latency. Service and support. Do they provide free 24-hour call or chat? Check the contract before you sign. A thorough internet search from reliable third-party sources may answer many of these questions for you. In the end, while I can give you a bunch of different ways of determining which ISP and how much bandwidth you really need for your home or your business, the simple truth is that in most locations in the US today, your choices of ISP are limited, and the slowest line you can buy is probably faster than the line you need. For instance, in my home, the slowest available speeds from Spectrum and Verizon are 30 megabits and 50 megabits respectively. My family of 5, with 12 videos streaming at once, has never had bandwidth issues. In my day, we used one ear to listen to the TV and one to listen to our parents. My kids use one to listen to TikTok and the other to listen to YouTube. I've been able to convince myself that that's why they can't hear me when I tell them to clean their rooms. And again, to lighten the mood, here's a limerick for you. His ISP threaded net speed was crucial for his business need. It was their business though, they just wanted more dough, senselessly making his bottom line bleed. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.